a student leader training kit for the HB 2639 Risk Management Education Program. It's required by Texas Education Code Section 59.9361 in the university. The three of us, meaning me, Karen, and Dawn Song, were required to attend a student leader training program in risk management this semester. In addition, the law requires us to present the safety training back to all of you using this PowerPoint and the handouts we gave you. Those were sent out in an email that you guys have from earlier. The following presentation will provide you with the important safety information that you all need to know in order to ensure the safety and welfare for all. It will be important to listen and pay attention. Also, please make sure you put your name, UPE ID, and signature on the sign-in sheet. You're required to submit this information to the Office of the Dean of Students for record-keeping purposes. So basically, the university required us to receive training on these topics: drug and alcohol possession and use, hazing, sexual assault and harassment, fire and life safety, travel, student behavior at events, and adoption of a risk management plan. These were the safety topics required to be covered under the law. In addition, the training we received and are sharing with you is meant to be specific to student organizations. The majority of our presentation this evening will be giving you the Cliff Notes version of these risk management issues. Hazing prevention. Let's start with the first one. So the first section will discuss what constitutes hazing while also discussing the potential issues and consequences with hazing. According to the state of Texas, hazing statute in Chapter 16 of the Institutional Rules on Student Services and Activities, hazing is defined as any intentional, knowing, or reckless act occurring on or off campus of an educational institution by one person alone or acting with others directed against the students that endangers the mental or physical health and safety of the student for the purpose of pledging, being initiated into, affiliating with, holding office in, or maintaining membership in any organization whose members are or include the students at an educational institution. As you read this definition, it is important to note that it does not matter if the act of hazing occurs on or off campus. It does not matter if you are recognized by the campus. As long as you have students as members, you can be held accountable for hazing. What about consent? Although some students may say things like, no one forced them into it, or we didn't make them do it, there is a powerful differential that exists and must be recognized in which new members allow themselves to be hazed. Under Texas state law, the fact that a person consented to or acquiesced in a hazing activity is not a defense to prosecution for hazing under the law or discipline by the university. Violation of the university's hazing prohibition renders not just the person inflicting the hazing, but also the person submitting to the hazing subject to discipline. However, the university may offer a person immunity from disciplinary action under certain circumstances. Prosecution for hazing under the law or discipline by the university. Violation of the university's hazing prohibition renders not just the person inflicting the hazing, but also the person submitting to the hazing subject to discipline. However, the university may offer a person immunity from disciplinary action under certain circumstances. Myth. Hazing is only a problem for sororities and fraternities. Fact. Hazing is a social problem. Hazing incidents occur among athletic teams, marching bands, the military spirit organizations, religious clubs, professional schools, and other types of organizations. Myth. Eliminating hazing makes an organization just like any other social club. It will be too easy to become a member. Fact. Any group can haze new members. That's the easy way out. It takes a vision and commitment to run a good non-hazing program.
Like Epsilon.
A little hazing should be okay as long as there's no mean spirit or injurious intent. Fact. Regardless.
It's on the screen.
Regardless of intent, some group bonding activities designed to be all in good fun may raise some serious safety concerns. A person who believes that he or she has been subjected to hazing in violation of the Institutional Rules, Chapter 16, or a person who has knowledge of hazing activities should report the incident to the Dean of Students or other university official, administrator, or supervisor. A faculty member is not an official administrator or supervisor for this purpose unless the faculty member holds an administrative position. In any case, no person is required to report hazing to the alleged offender. If you become aware or were subjected to hazing, please report the incident to the Office of the Dean of Students. There's their contact information. It is important to be aware that not only can our organization be held liable for criminal charges and university discipline, but individual members can face these consequences as well. Individual discipline. The Dean of Students may initiate disciplinary proceedings against a student accused of violating the hazing prohibition policy. And organizational discipline. The Dean of Students may also initiate disciplinary proceedings against an organization accused of violating the hazing prohibition policy. Criminal and civil liability. Through criminal process, the District Attorney's Office can investigate and press charges against the organization and the individuals. Through the civil process, individuals can be sued as an organization and as an individual. Drug possession, use, and abuse. Is there really a drug problem on college campuses? The use, possession, or abuse of illicit drugs, steroids, prescription drugs, and over-the-counter medication is not a new problem in the United States. We have all heard the stories in the news or on the internet about police arresting someone for drug possession or a famous celebrity who was found dead due to a drug overdose. What many people may not be aware is that illegal use, possession, or abuse of drugs is also a problem on college and university campuses. The following section will discuss drug possession, use, and abuse, and the various issues surrounding this topic. Furthermore, this section will give information on how to conduct an intervention if you feel someone you know, friend, family member, or organization member is struggling with drug abuse. Facts about drugs at UT. First of all, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, approximately 40% of adults in the U.S. will use an illegal drug at some point during their lives. This does not include the use of alcohol or prescription medications. A study conducted at UT by the Harvard School of Public Health in 2004 found that 28% of students smoked marijuana in the past year and 31% used illicit drugs in the past year. A study conducted by UT at the American College Health Association in 2008 found that in their lifetimes, 44% of UT students have smoked marijuana, 7% of UT students have used cocaine, 7% of UT students have used amphetamines, 7% of UT students have used ecstasy, 10% of UT students have used other illicit drugs. And recognizing the signs of drug use or abuse is one of the most important steps each of us can take in getting someone help. While you may not remember every detail about someone's behavior, you should be on the lookout for some of these red flags that are symptoms of drug use or dependence. The person has life problems related to the use of alcohol or other drug abuse. For example, neglecting responsibilities, relationships, etc. because alcohol or other drug use. The person sets limits on how often or how much he or she will drink or use and then exceed those limits. The person makes promises to him or herself or someone else about drinking or using and breaks those promises. For example, promising to cut back and then using the same amount as before. The person lies about or tries to hide the amount and or frequency of his or her drinking or other drug use. The person forgets or denies things that happened when he or she was intoxicated. For example, experiencing a blackout while intoxicated. The person behaves very differently when intoxicated than when sober, and if he or she is a different person. For example, a mild-mannered person becoming aggressive or acting provocatively when intoxicated. The person tends to avoid social functions at which alcohol and or other drugs may not be available. For example, the person asks if there is alcohol at a party and does not go if there isn't. The person feels guilty, embarrassed, or remorseful about things he or she did while intoxicated. The person has a very high tolerance, that is, he or she can drink or use a lot without acting or feeling intoxicated. The possession, use, or abuse of illegal drugs or abuse of prescription and over-the-counter drugs will result in significant physical, psychological, and other consequences for the person as well as the family, friends, and others. In addition, substance abusers soon fall into a potentially destructive pattern. Obtaining and using the drug becomes more important than anything else, including school, work, friends, and family. In the past year, almost 1 in 4 full-time college students met the clinical definitions for alcohol and or drug abuse or alcohol and or drug dependence. Drug possession, use, or abuse can affect multiple areas of your life, including your health and well-being, college education, graduate school admissions or employment, participation in athletic activities, and relationships with family, friends, and peers.